They called him a monster before he even had the chance to prove otherwise. But what if I told you this so-called beast was once just a lonely child, hidden in the shadow of gods who feared him more than they ever tried to understand him? In today's story, we're stepping into the cold, misty world of Norse mythology to uncover the tale of Fenrir, the great wolf who was destined to kill Odin, the All-Father himself. This isn't just a story about gods and monsters. It's about fear, betrayal, fate, and a creature who grew too large for the chains that bound him. Before we dive into this myth that shaped the very heart of Ragnarok, don't forget to subscribe. More legends, more forgotten tales, and more answers to questions you didn't even know you had are waiting for you here. Now, let's begin. The world of the Norse gods was never peaceful. It was a realm where power was always tested, where fate was written long before life was lived. And in this world, 3 strange children were born from a union the gods despised: Loki, the trickster, and Angrboda, a giantess of the wild woods. Their children were no ordinary offspring. One was Hel, a girl with half her body alive and half decayed, ruler of the underworld. Another was Jörmungandr, a serpent so vast he would one day coil around the earth itself. And then there was Fenrir, a wolf. At first small, his fur dark as night, his eyes burning with the fire of something untamed. The gods heard whispers of a prophecy. These children of Loki, they said, would bring destruction. And the wolf, Fenrir, would one day devour Odin. Imagine this: the gods, powerful beyond measure, trembling not before armies, not before giants, but before a pup, a young wolf who had yet to bare his teeth. And so they made a choice. They would not kill him, at least not yet. They feared the anger of Loki, but they would watch him. They would raise him in Asgard itself, close enough to see his every move. As the years passed, Fenrir grew and grew. His paws thundered against the golden halls of the gods. His breath misted in the cold air like smoke from a mountain fire. He was no longer a wolf the gods could keep as a pet. His size rivaled theirs, his strength even greater. And with every moon, his hunger seemed to deepen, as if no feast could ever satisfy him. Yet there was more than hunger in Fenrir. Behind those burning eyes was thought, a mind. He spoke with the gods, sparred with their warriors, and tested his might against the strongest. Some say only Tyr, the god of war and justice, dared come close to him. Tyr fed him. Tyr spoke to him. And in those rare moments, the wolf was not a monster, but a companion. Still, the shadow of prophecy never left the gods' minds. They whispered when Fenrir walked past. They feared the day when his strength would no longer be contained by Asgard's walls. So they plotted. One day, the gods approached Fenrir with chains. "Great wolf," they said, "let us test your strength. Let us see if you can break what no other can." The first chain was heavy, forged of iron. Fenrir laughed, shaking his vast mane. He let them bind him, and with a single flex of his body, The chain shattered like straw. The gods nodded, pretending to be impressed, though fear deepened in their eyes. The second chain was stronger, thicker, woven with the skill of dwarves. Fenrir allowed them to bind him again. The gods watched, their breaths caught as the wolf strained. For a moment, the chain held. Then, with a roar that shook the skies, Fenrir burst free. The gods knew then. No ordinary chains could hold him. But the gods are cunning. They went to the dwarves, the greatest craftsmen in all the realms. "Forge us a chain," they demanded. "One that no strength can break." The dwarves agreed, but not with metal, not with fire. They wove the chain from 6 impossible things: the sound of a cat's footfall, the beard of a woman, the roots of a mountain, the sinews of a bear, the breath of a fish, and the spittle of a bird. From these, they made Gleipnir, soft as silk, light as a ribbon, yet stronger than the might of any beast or god. The gods returned to Fenrir. They held out Gleipnir, smiling. Fenrir's golden eyes narrowed. This was no ordinary chain. He could feel it. Something in him whispered. This was a trap. "Bind me with this," Fenrir said slowly. "But only if one of you places your hand in my mouth as a pledge. If you betray me, I will take it." The gods looked at one another. Fear flickered. None dared, except Tyr. Tyr, who had fed him, spoken to him, treated him as more than a beast. And so, Tyr placed his hand in the wolf's jaws. The gods bound Fenrir with Gleipnir. The silk ribbon tightened. Fenrir roared, twisted, fought with all his might. But the chain did not move. It did not even strain. In that moment, Fenrir knew. Betrayal. His eyes burned with fury. He clenched his jaws shut and bit down. Tyr screamed as his hand was severed, blood painting the grass of Asgard. The gods, satisfied, laughed in relief. They had bound the wolf. They drove a sword into his jaws to hold them open, so his saliva foamed like a river. From his drool came a stream, the river Van, and there Fenrir lay. Years turned to centuries, bound, silenced, humiliated. The gods carried on, feasting, warring, ruling, but always with the knowledge that Fenrir was waiting. Because prophecy cannot be chained, fate cannot be silenced. When Ragnarok comes, the twilight of the gods, the earth will tremble, the seas will rise, the sky will split, and Fenrir will break free. The chains of Gleipnir will snap like threads. The wolf will rise, shaking the worlds with his roar. His jaws will stretch from earth to sky, and he will run across the battlefield of doom. And there, at the heart of chaos, he will meet Odin, the All-Father, the ruler of Asgard, the god who plotted his binding, who watched him suffer, who feared him more than any. Odin will ride to meet him on Sleipnir, his mighty steed. He will carry his spear, Gungnir, and the fury of a god who will not accept defeat. But fate is not kind to Odin. Fenrir will open his mouth, wider than the heavens, and swallow the All-Father whole. The sky will darken. the gods will fall. And though Odin's son Vidar will avenge him, tearing Fenrir apart with a vengeance born of grief, the prophecy will be fulfilled. The wolf will do what was written. He will kill Odin. Think about that for a moment. A creature feared, betrayed, chained, not for what he had done, but for what he might one day do. And in the end, the fear of the gods created the very doom they tried to avoid. Was Fenrir truly a monster? Or was he simply a child of fate, pushed into becoming what they feared most? The story of Fenrir is more than myth. It is a reminder. When fear drives action, when mistrust replaces understanding, we often create the very monsters we dread. And so, Fenrir waits in the shadows of our imagination. A wolf too vast to chain, too feared to forget. If you found this story as powerful as I did, make sure you subscribe for more myths that reveal not just gods and monsters, but truths about ourselves.